My name is Audrey Hartley, and I am the Executive Director of Jardin de los Niños. Jardin de los Niños is a daycare center for homeless and near homeless children and their families. What we do is when parents are looking for a home, looking for a job, we take their children in, or if they even want to go back to college, we take the children in and we care for them so that the parents have an opportunity to break the cycle of homelessness by getting a job, by going back to school and studying, by doing those things to better their situation. The first thing you need to know about homelessness is that it's a very volatile type of lifestyle. And the sad part of it is we may not graduate 50% of the kids sometimes because they'll come, and this is the really, really sad part, they'll come, we'll see them for 3 days, and then they'll disappear and we'll never see them again. There's no way to trace them. They don't have a cell phone. They don't have, a lot of these folks will have message cell phones, family members or friends, but we've called and they don't know where they are. Every time someone comes in, the first thing that is done is a pre-qualifying assessment. They must qualify under the McKinney-Vento Act as homeless or near homeless. And so it's quite a process. It's not a difficult process. It takes about an hour, hour and a half. And then the other process that we do, it's not a requirement, but it's something that's very, very important for homeless children. Many of them suffer from developmental delays. So within the first week of the time that the child is here, we very closely monitor that child to see where they are in terms of their milestones, whether it's, tiny ones walking, whether it's older kids and their speech patterns and things like that. If they are delayed, what we do is we bring in outside sources and offer therapeutic interventions. And therapists come into the class and work with the kids so that we get them up to those developmental milestones. It's obviously difficult for people to admit that there's a problem. And a lot of people really are afraid to come in and say, I really, really need the help. But the bottom line is that this Jardin de los Niños and the entire community of hope was designed specifically to help. That's all we want to do. We're not here to judge. We're not here to say you should have done this, you should have done that. Especially with the economic downturn of late, we see more and more young families who they've lost a job. And it's through no fault of their own. It's as simple as something, one bad event for many, many people anymore can cause this, terrible tumbleweed effect of, really some bad circumstances and bad luck. But the bottom line is you should never, ever, ever be afraid to call us. We're here. We want to help. And most especially, if nothing else, think about your child. Every parent that I know of puts their child as the first priority. And if it means that you need to be just a tiny little bit embarrassed about getting assistance, but if it means that your child's going to have food in his or her tummy, they're going to have clothes on their backs, and they're going to get the education that they need, it's super, super important to put that aside and just give us a call. One of the things that I don't think the community is aware of is that we don't only take care of the kids, we also take care of the parents. When people come into our program, parents are required to spend 16 hours a month doing community service here at the building. In addition, 2 hours a week uninterrupted with their children in the classroom. Because what we know about homelessness is this, that when a person is so stressed out about finding out where the next meal is coming from, finding a roof over the head, they don't have a lot of time to spend quality time with their children. So this gives them the opportunity to spend that quality time with their children and get to know them as a little person rather than just another mouth to feed. And we find that it's just so, so effective. The other thing that parents are required to do is participate in parenting classes. Those include everything from being an effective parent, effective communication, and then very importantly, budgeting and saving money so that the eventuality is that they'll know how to do that so that that situation is not so dire and so desperate from here forward. And we're very, very excited about the fact that when most of the families that graduate, 90% of those families are no longer dependent on the system, meaning they no longer require public assistance. So we're very, very pleased with those odds and what we do here at Jardin. The biggest challenge that we have right now is that private funding. We need friends and we need funds, and we need them right away. And every 501c3 struggles with funding. It used to be that grants were the biggest way to go in terms of this kind of industry. However, grant funding is sort of dried up lately as well. So we really are reaching out very, very fast and furiously to the community to say, please help us. We need your assistance. It's crucial that we assist these children. You know, children do not choose to be homeless. And they have no say in how to become not homeless. So it's very, very important that we as the community support these young children so that they can have a future. And another component of that is people don't, again, I have to go back to the component of the parents. You know, if we give these parents these tools and we can fund them, homelessness becomes a temporary situation. And when we can break that cycle and get them off of public assistance and get them on their own 2 feet, that's the crucial thing. But we can't do that without our number one thing, which is we've got to have the funds to keep the doors open. The most rewarding aspect of my job is the fact that I can create a safe and loving environment for these children, and to look at their faces and to see that they want to just be regular kids. You know, kids just want to be kids. They just want to play. They just want to have fun. They just want to live their lives. And we can create that environment for them at least from 7:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday. But to be able to see these kids and walk down these hallways, and you can walk down these hallways and you would not know these children are homeless because they're playing with everything that they have. They're having fun. They're living their lives, and they're doing what kids need to do. And for me, that's the most important thing. They can certainly call us at 522-2111. They can volunteer. They can certainly donate money. They can also donate goods and services. We need things from everything from diapers to art supplies to office supplies to clothing and shoes. Just bring it. If you don't want it and you don't need it, bring it to us, because even if we can't use it here at Jardin, we'll pass whatever else needs to go around to our neighbors of Community of Hope. What I would like to do is to be able to continue to provide these children with a safe and loving environment. I would love to grow services so that we can implement more reading programs, more STEM programs, science, technology, engineering, and math. I would love to be able to offer more to these kids, more opportunities, so that as they grow, they get the things that every other child, rich kids have opportunities, poor kids don't necessarily have. And I would love to be able to create those opportunities where we could possibly sponsor a child to play on a baseball team, or have them on a swim team, or be in the academic all-stars, whatever that means for those kids. I would love to be able to just build on the opportunities that we already provide. Our website is www.jardinlc.org. Our email address is jardindelosninos.lc@gmail.com. And our phone number is 575-522-2111. I make it a point to spend some time in the classroom, most especially when parents are there, because I really try to see the dynamic between the parent and the child. And what I see is this, when they're doing certain activities, when a child is jumping off, like we have little kiddos and they jump off. That's one of the things, jumping in the 3-year-old classroom. Let's jump off, and it's a tiny little thing. But I watched one parent. She was with her daughter, and her daughter was really, really afraid to do it. But the mom took her hand and said, "Okay, do it. I'll hold your hand and do it." And with that child jumping off, I saw a complete paradigm shift with that parent. And all of a sudden, she realized what an exceptional little person was there. Instead of just the stressor of, again, having to feed that child and clothe that child, she realized that there was this little person who had this amazing ability. And this particular child, she is bright as the sunshine, and she is hilarious, and she loves everybody. But the mom finally saw that. And that will break your heart when a parent finally sees that they've got this amazing little person that they didn't necessarily, and through no fault of their own, they just have so many stressors that they don't have time to pay attention. And that's the most important part about having them in the classroom, is to give them that time to put everything else aside. This is the safe zone. You can come here, and that door, our front door, is locked for a reason, so that the bad things can't get through. And what we create here is that safe environment that homelessness does not create. And when that safe environment is there, and when that parent can see what that child is able to do, it's stunning. It's the most amazing thing. And I've done a lot of things in my career, but that particular piece of the program, where a parent and child can come together and just be a parent who loves an amazing child, is the best thing I have ever seen in the 23 years, 24 years that I have been working in whatever endeavor I've done.